You need to fix these YouTube growth problems now. We are doing YouTube channel reviews for the first time in this configuration. We have some brand new graphics from friend of the channel, Nick Nimmin. So shout out to Nick for the graphics, but we are here to look at your YouTube channels. It is very easy to enter. Geology Dude, and we have Shark Scrapper in the chat. Happy to have you here. If you want to know what word to enter to get your channel looked at, we're going to start it off pretty simple. Hashtag TubeSpanner. It needs to be in the same configuration on screen. But Danielle, good to see you. Are you excited to look at channels together here?
I am, although I'm a little disappointed we haven't got a shark scraping channel, because that sounds brilliant. That's some sort of, I don't know, I want that channel.
I'm being told we have some echo, which is interesting.
Is it from...
let's check. Is it from Danielle?
I've turned down my foldback monitor. Maybe it's that.
Seeing echo. Let's hope. We're getting some people typing in hashtag TubeSpanners. Welcome, matching birthdays for happiness. Good to see you here on the stream.
Geology
One of these
Dude.
days, you need to review the troll comment on channel. You know, the worst part on those, Geology Dude, they don't even have that well a setup of a channel, so it's just going to kind of waste everyone's time. That's the worst part. We have T. Ryan Learns Bikes. Welcome to the stream, having some new people. Some sharks do like when I scratch their itch. Thank you. If anything, that could, that could be something you could make. Shark back scratchers. You call them back scratchers in the UK.
Yes, or loofers.
We're learning so much about regional dialects and differences. Yeah. Is the echo gone? Please let us know. Do you happen to have the stream in the background, Danielle? Because sometimes that can be what does it.
I do not. It's on mute.
No idea then. But no one has said anything, so hopefully we're all good. We have some entries.
Quite high, so maybe it was that.
All right. Once again, we have more people joining us. If you'd like a chance for your channel to get reviewed, type in hashtag TubeSpanner exactly as it is on screen. I'm seeing from others, we don't have an echo. So I'm going to give a little bit of an overview of what we're going to be looking at here today. This is going to be a just general look at the channel. We don't have the ability to go in the back end and deeper, but we have you here in chat. Please answer questions as we have them in chat. Also, there will be an opportunity for you to watch this replay after this is all said and done. So if you are still trying to get a channel review and you're watching someone else get a review, follow along. That's my best tip, because something they may not have, you may do, or you may not. So these are easy ways that you could get a better grade, better scoring. We're going to be scoring.
You could use the TubeSpanner notes tool to take notes as you go along.
There you go. And the way we're going to score is how many spanners out of 5. So you want 5 out of 5, as we Americans call it, wrenches. But 1 out of 5 wrench means need an improvement. 2 out of 5 wrench is about a little below average. 3 out of 5 wrench is average. 4 out of 5 wrenches, above average. And 5 out of 5 spanners. See, I changed it there. 5 out of 5 spanners means, well, I don't know yet, but we'll work on that as we continue to do these streams. But I think we have enough people. Geology Dude said it was a personal issue. It's all good. Well, with that, let us run this live. Let's go.
Let's go. Who's it going to be?
We don't know, and that's part of the fun.
I've been involved in, and I've been watching channel reviews for years, and this is the first one I've ever done. I'm quite excited. I'm not going to lie.
This is probably my 100th. Not even going to lie. But
look at all these names.
Did he get it? Can he get the timing right? Close, but no cigar. Oh. Geology Dude.
Yay! Friend of the channel.
Geology Dude, welcome to the stream. So what we're going to be doing as we are pulling this up is we're going to be pulling up your YouTube channel. Now, as we're pulling up his YouTube channel, pull up your own. Get that TubeSpanner. Oh, Danielle, we have very brights on Danielle now. You've gotten very bright on stream. Not sure why. So we're looking up Geology Dude now. We're going to be pulling him up. But don't worry. If you're like, that was my chance, we will do another one as I am pulling up his YouTube channel. And the word, this is from Danielle herself. It's the answer to quite a lot. And maybe you know it. Maybe you don't. Bodarville. So if you would like your channel to be looked at next, all you have to do is type in Bo Darville. It is on screen, makes it very easy to see. Now, we are going to be pulling up Geology Dude. Now, it's important to note a few things. We're going to be looking at this from the perspective of someone who has never seen the YouTube channel before. Why does that matter? Well, a lot of times people are like, well, I know what this means, but you got to remember, new viewers don't have the luxury to talk to you like we do here in chat. So it doesn't matter if they know what you're up to. If we know what you're up to, it matters if they do. So without further delay, let's go today. Geology Dude. So Geology Dude, we're starting with you. What's the dude, my dude? So immediately, we're going to be using the TubeSpanner sketch tool. And if you would like to use this, you can use it yourself. It is free to download. It will have a link in the description down below. So what I'm going to be doing is using the sketch tool to draw around, but I wanted to pick a color from the channel. We have this nice little green here. Let's start with that. Now, first thing that stands out to me, Danielle, is of course the banner. But what are your thoughts on it?
It's appealing. It's not what I expected. I don't know why. Geology Dude, I mean, it makes sense. I was thinking it's either going to be a Pokemon channel. I don't know, because Geodude, I guess.
That would just get rid of that.
Or something to do with rocks. And it is something to do with rocks. So that's that's good. The sunset seems to be a bit... I don't understand what a sunset has to do with rocks. But maybe if I was into geology more, maybe it would make sense. So
that's a pretty good observation, I'd say. I also think, it's called Geology Dude, but you know what's missing? Where's the dude?
Oh.
Like, you've told me I'm going to see a Geology Dude, and yes, he is in here. But you have to remember, I'm coming to get a chance to understand who Geology Dude is. It is cool to see, but I wish you were in the banner. Maybe that is a personal decision. I'd also, to Danielle's point, love to see you hold up a piece of geology. But what I will say I do like about this, and I think it's done very well, rock identification. Immediately I understand what I'm going to be getting and with who it's with, even though I would love to not only be told. In a YouTube channel, you want to be shown and tell. You want to show and tell. So we're shown... we're told, but I'm not really shown. We're getting 360 degree plus 3D imagery, trustworthy education, and photos that are real, especially these days when it comes to some of the stuff that I've seen. There are a lot of AI for channels these days, so I think it's a really cool distinction to have here. Now, I will say the next thing I look at is the about, which, as I noticed, Geology Dude does a really good job of restating his channel name, which is a YouTube best practice, right at the start. And it says Geology Dude brings rocks to life. I don't know about you, but I would love to see rocks coming alive. That's going back to that Geo Dude you were talking about.
We're going down the realms of golems and stuff from the fantasy games now. Can I just go back to the banner?
Yeah.
It's an attractive banner, but it's not. I've got to read too much, and I love a shiny rock.
Too much telling.
Yeah, I'd like to see a little more. I'd like to see the imagery a bit more intentional about what's in store here. And for some reason, my eye is drawn to the island in the background, and it's all very romantic and everything. But I'm just not connecting that image with rocks. And we're going to look further because we're doing a channel review, but I'm concerned people might click off too quickly because they're not being hooked in straight away.
I don't think that's so much. What I've found and what YouTube says is people usually give it about a minute, but I do think that this isn't doing any favors in that minute where it could. And I think that, to your point, it is telling me a lot and not showing me a lot. And I would say that, I don't know about you, Danielle, but this is also like my eyes are kind of struggling. Like adding a little bit of a shadow or a stroke effect, even there could help this stand out a bit more.
Yeah, and on photos of what? I mean, I'm assuming, shiny rocks, which is cool, but...
He says some people ask about the water, but oceanography is part of it, and there is an island. So I guess he's...
Like I say, maybe it is more relevant if this is your thing, maybe that makes more sense then. But I'm literally coming as somebody that I know a stalagmite and a stalactite, but it's about as far as it goes when it comes to rocks. And I'm not sure if
Sure.
those even count as rocks. They're formations and things.
Well, the next thing I want to look at is, the about, because one thing it says is that it should pay off the banner, and I think it does a really good job with that. And one thing about the about being moved here from a YouTube point of view is that the most important parts, YouTube says, similar to YouTube descriptions. Oop, looks like I can't use the tool at the same time if I have this pulled up. But Geology Do brings to life. Each video features real rocks and no AI. Rocks are, 300 angles. Like this, you talk a lot about all the rocks I'm going to see, but to Danielle's point, the first impression we get, surprisingly, is very rockless. I guess the island counts, but you know what I mean? Hopefully that helped. I do notice you have a lot of links to other YouTube channels you have here. I would definitely, this isn't a bad thing. It seems like you are focusing on the specific rocks you'd like them to check out. One thing to keep in mind when it comes to, this kind of thing, this isn't a bad thing. I would just say that you want to keep them on platform or buy me a coffee for you, which is smart. I would just also mention that if you have a website, maybe put it here. If you don't, I would definitely consider it, especially with all your rock finding. I think a blog for you could have great SEO potential and things like that. So cool to see you have all of these playlists, though. What are your thoughts on this about, Danielle?
Too many words for me. I've got an attention span of a gnat, and but from an SEO point of view, that's going to be good. So for somebody like me that doesn't read descriptions, it's irrelevant. But from an SEO point of view, it looks like it's got a lot of good content that'll help with indexing. So that's going to be useful. And if I found some content that I wanted to go into further, then a detailed description is going to be useful. So yeah, I think that's a perfectly workable description there.
And that's good thing to note. And YouTube even moved it. It used to be the About tab, but what they found is not a lot of people read it. And still, not that many people do click more from this, but YouTube 100% of the time reads the description. So having it filled out, having it make a lot of sense. I think this is a really good description. I think you did a really great job here. But now I want to check the homepage overall. We do have a video, and this is volcanic mud flows, boulders, and lahar logs. And it's part 1, so this would make sense for if I'm into this. It gives me an idea. It's part 1. It gives me idea that there's multiple parts of the series, which is a really good thing to start, because if they like the preview here, they're more likely. I noticed that you're using the For You tab. This is going to give recommendations to each individual user based on their watch history, or in your case, their rock history. And so we're going to keep looking. I noticed that you have all of those custom playlists, but they're really not shown individually as single playlist. You have a bunch of these grouped playlists, and the problem with the group playlist is that there's so much choice. It now becomes almost hard for me as a viewer to know where you want me to start. Like, this is like, I don't know how you feel about this, Danielle, but this is like getting the Cheesecake Factory menu here in the States.
Yeah.
And it is pages long, and I'm like, So
and again, if I was more into rocks, maybe this is rock porn. Maybe this is everything you need to be a fan of rocks. You're like, look at all these rocks, I've arrived. But as somebody that's just sort of passing through, and I'm trying to come at this as a casual, and I'm maybe not your audience, but I do watch all kinds of content, and I could see it's my takeaway is, that's a good channel about rocks, but it's not for me. And I would say maybe something a little more. If this is your again, I don't know what your audience profile is, what your avatar, but if you want to attract a broader audience, you may want to make it a little more appealing to people that are less rock, maybe more metal. So I don't know. Let's But yeah, I don't know what your goal is, because I'm thinking as a rock enthusiast, this is probably Nirvana.
I would say that you might want to look at your playlist individually and see which one gets the most people watching. Because the problem I have, whether you're into rocks or not, we're going to assume as a new viewer, like if they click through, they're probably interested, right? That's usually what YouTube says. So what I would tell you is, you've given me almost too much choice. Where do I start, right? Because there is so much that you have, which is a great thing. The issue then becomes, where would I start? If I'm someone interested or trying to get into rocks, I could not tell you where you want me to start, nor why I should care as a new viewer or even someone into the hobby or trying to get into it. What about meteorites and other rocks? What about economic rocks? It's got a lot of options, but not a lot of clarity. Again, this time you're showing me, you're not telling me where to start. You're not telling me what to do, right? So I'm going to, just remind, I see we have some new people. If you would like an opportunity to get your channel looked at, all you have to do is type in hashtag Bodarville as it is here as we were pulling this up. Just want to make sure we give people the opportunity to get their channel looked at. And I see Geology Dude says most of my videos are shorts. Again, this goes back to, though, if you are brand new and you don't have Geology Dude here talking in your ear, it is still confusing. And hopefully that answers your question. How do we participate in the channel review? Noticing we're getting more people in, so all you have to do is type the word that we have on screen exactly as it is, the hashtag in all. But I would just say that I think you were doing the right step and having a lot of playlists, and it's very clear, Geology Dude, that you pay attention. So we're going a little deeper because you clearly, I notice you have the post, you're doing them 4 hours. I will say that YouTube recommends that you should post on the post tab. Used to be community, now it's post, once every 3 days. And I noticed that you're kind of going multiple day after day, sometimes multiple times a day. Just be aware of that, and that YouTube said best practice is 1 every 3 days. If you're finding a lot of results and success with that, more power to you. Also keep in mind that if you're posting a video on the same day, that the posts still count as activity and you are competing with what your viewers see. Not sure if you are posting long form or shorts at the same time. The shorts are a little harder to see the date they were published, but that's just something to keep in mind, especially when you are so active in that post tab, is that community post and shorts count as content.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah. Is this based on data or vibes?
Vibes. This is a vibe suggestion, okay?
I don't go on vibes, but I'll let you play.
I'm making the assumption you want to grow your channel because you're here, you're watching, So this is purely based on the fact you want to grow your channel. Try this. Take one video and do some A/B testing and go completely left field with your thumbnail. Do like a cartoon rock or a rock eating food or something. I don't know, something really different.
Well, they did say most of their videos are shorts, just as a counterpoint.
Good point. So so tricky. So pick one that isn't a short if you've got one, and just try something, or even just do a short, but try something really different, and just see if that can get on the browse tool, and try to get a really strong value proposition as to why somebody needs to watch that video. Just something really, sell it. Don't just be factual. Put a bit of spin on it and just see if you can see how differently that performs. Try to get some, because everything looks quite similar. And that's fine, it's very consistent. But I would say perhaps to break out, just try something really different and see what that does, and get the metrics and test it. That's assuming you want to, get some better data. Just a thought.
Not a bad thought at all. I think we're to a point, though, where I kind of have an idea in what I would give this out of, we're doing out of 5 wrenches. Yeah. We went through our earlier. If you're just joining us, welcome. I see we have up to 17 people. Happy to have you here. But I have an idea. Danielle, what are you giving this? 5 out of 5 wrenches being a perfect score. 1 out of 5 needs a lot of improvement. I'm curious what your thoughts are.
Well, I know I've been quite critical, but I'm going to give this a 3.
3 out of 5 wrenches.
Because the grind, no pun intended, is there. You're doing the videos, you're doing the content. That's a huge part, and you're here to try to get some new ideas and try something, to see, get our opinion on it. So, I think geology is interesting. Science is interesting. So you've got a really good, solid foundation here. You've got a lot of content, plenty to play with, plenty to try. I know.
There's so many rock puns.
Shut up. But I just think, 3, loads of potential here. You're potentially sitting on a gold mine. Anywho.
The funs of geology. But I actually agree. I was thinking between a 3 and a 4. I'm going to go with a 4, which puts us perfectly at a 3.5 if we average that out. So that's 3.5 spanners. So look, some of the ideas here are that just try some single playlists over grouping of playlists. Think about if you want a new viewer to get into the geology habit, how would that best suit them? Again, you're doing a lot of advanced stuff and you clearly have an idea of who your audience is. You're testing, your stuff looks great. These are minor things, but this can help you go a lot farther because a lot of people discount how many people actually go to a YouTube channel page themselves, right? So that's some of the easy stuff you can do. And, you know, if you're just joining us, I see we have more people joining us now. The way you enter is whatever word we have on screen, and I'll put it on, Bo Darville, is how you type. You type it exactly as on screen. Capitalization does matter here. So hashtag Bo Darville, capital B, capital D. And we're going to pull you up and we're going to give you reviews based on your channel. We're looking at it for brand new people. We are going to be going deep. And so what are your thoughts, Danielle? Congrats on your first one done. Can we get a round of applause here? You rocked it.
It's fun.
Hopefully that. I wonder if Geology Dude gets tired of rock puns. I mean, it's right there.
Rocks for life.
We're going to look at the next one. And I think we've given people enough time. Here we go. Can he nail it? Ah, too early, but Shark Scrapper.
Nice. Let's scrape some sharks.
And we have from Geology Dude coming in live. Thanks very much for the review. I really appreciate it. Rock puns are great. Now, I see people are still typing in Bo Darville. Thank you so much for that. However, the next word is going to be different, so you got to be paying attention. And again, if you have this, pull this up on your YouTube channel. Have your channel follow along with us here. So I want to make sure that we put it up. But our next word is going to be very important. It's going to be something you should have if you're watching, and that is the TubeSpanner browser extension. But it is just hashtag browser extension. Go ahead and type it in as it is on screen. And with that, we are going to go ahead and take a look at Shark. Show image. All right. So, Danielle, I led last time. Let's lead with you once more.
Okay. Well, let's see. I'm thinking of some puns, but I'm gonna avoid those first.
You're scraping at the bottom of the barrel, you could say.
Yeah. Let's see. Scrapping and recycling. Okay, that's not at all what I expected. I honestly thought this was going to be about sharks. So I'm a little shook right here. I'm just saying. But great. This is not at all. I mean, I've seen Shark Scrapper in the chat for a long time, and I just thought it was a marine channel. So hey, but okay, this is fine. Realign my brain. And I'm seeing electronics and sort of like digital IT reclamation. And so now I'm interested, and there might be some cool tech or something here. So visually appealing, if a little dull. And, you know, but that's fine. I would say perhaps we need to see something more obvious. I've had to look through the transparent layers and stuff to understand what's going on there. So I may want to drop the blue banner and perhaps do like some IT getting crunched up, or some car getting scrapped, or something a bit more dramatic maybe. But it, has it got that instant appeal? Probably not, but I'm curious.
But this is from your point of view.
It is,
and I think that's something.
My point of view, yes.
From where I sit, I do understand what you're saying, Danielle. Like when I saw your channel for the first time, Shark Scrapper, I too thought more ocean themed, and so it also could be in your background. You know, there is a little bit of the ocean. Now, I'm not sure if you mean shark as in actual sharks, or if you mean like Shark Tank sharks, where they're like business sharks, because, you know, part of what you have here is help our planet make money. So if it's that kind of shark, that makes sense. But I did have to go a little bit deeper. To Danielle's
sharks
point,
might be furious if you try to scrap them. Just saying.
Kevin O'Leary would not like that. But if you look, I do see some of the stuff you're scrapping, I'm assuming here. But that also, what could appear obvious to someone may not be obvious to others, right? And this isn't a bad thing. It's just something that we had an expectation based on the profile picture and based on kind of what's here, and it didn't kind of align with what we saw.
Yeah, and
go for it.
Yeah, and use where, and this is not a slight, but your average viewer, you need to hook them with as little friction as possible. And so I'm like, oh, this is not what I expected. Now, in many ways that can help because I'm curious to, well, what am I looking at then? This has nothing to do with sharks. But also it's got me looking to try to figure it out, which is, in its own way, it's enticing, So so there's that. But also the orange in the shark scrapper and the yellow in the sign are different shades, and that's like triggering me. Just saying.
Most users won't notice that. Danielle, you're a harsh critic. I will say that. I didn't think you're like the Simon Cowell. I thought it was more, Paula, but I thought it'd be more Randy. I feel like I'm being the Paula today. But what I will say is that click here for more shark scrapper information. I feel like this is what I have to do, not so much it's what I want to do, because I understand what you're about, but you have to remember YouTube is also going to look at what we call our channel, and it might be like, well, this doesn't have much to do with sharks. Now I apologize, I am using yellow on this, so I actually will switch to the blue for this part. That's another cool feature, the TubeSpanner tool. But you have to remember, YouTube looks at individual words, so it also might be confusing sharks with actual sharks, right? And then, it'll see scrapper, and it'll be like, okay. But if I have to click more info, let's see, click here for more information. This channel is all about scrapping and recycling. My primary business deals with electronic scrap, e-scrap, but I share tons of information on every, perfect. Yeah. We talk about the memberships, the things you sell, we have your postal address. But one thing I will tell you is this is almost too many links that should be in the link section and not enough actually describing the channel. This should be here. You should have your membership right here. Again, they have the join button here, but if you're going to have it, it should be in the links, because these aren't clickable and it's taking away from actual valuable space. All of these links should move here. Postal address is fine. So I will say that's not bad. It's just you could be using your about a lot more to help the channel, because again, we talked about this with Geology Dude, that only about it's actually up to about 25%. Before it was like 10% when it was an about tab, but YouTube 100% looks at the description to understand the channel. So that is one of the things you could definitely do just to help, because I love that you have your website. That absolutely should be your first thing. But one thing I want you to keep in mind is I noticed that you have Shiver membership. As a new member, new viewer, what does that mean to you, Danielle?
Pirates are.
But genuinely, outside of that, does this give you any clarity?
No, it makes me think of pirates. Strip me timbers.
Now, this trailer is supposed to be valuable to new viewers, right? But if I'm a new viewer and the first thing I see is like, you now have a YouTube membership, that's great, but I'm just getting to know you, So I would work on the title here. Like, what about the membership? Why should I care about it? Because this would also help you in general YouTube stuff, because this membership could be interesting to those. And again, you gave me so much incredible information in the about section that I'm kind of having to, I was going to say scrape together, but maybe it's just because of the channel, but I'm having to come up with what I can expect here, Now, looking here, I think your thumbnails are great. Like, look at that. Gold mine. We have you, I'm assuming you, very clear in this looks cool, very visually optimized.
I'm clicking on that straight away. So I think the packaging, we'll get onto this, but different story down here. This is great. Look at this.
Yeah. And if we look at your popular videos, like e-waste scrapping, MLCC collect or not to collect, money and scrap, like people are very interested. So it is cool to see. Like I've seen you around for so long. I will be transparent. This is not the first time I've seen your channel, but this is the first time I've had the opportunity to pull it up in a stream like this. So again, I love how all of a sudden, all about scrapping electronic scrap. This playlist is a collection of videos to help you understand how to scrap. Perfect. And if we go back to geology, dude, like I don't know how you feel, Danielle, but I understand what I could do on this channel here.
Yeah, this is terrific.
How to grade printed circuit, like this is good. How do I scrap this? I would maybe consider for you scrapping for beginners or new to scrapping or new to shark scrapper or scrape.
I bet these do well in browse as well.
Well, we're now going on assumptions, but what we can say is that what I'm seeing looks visually appealing from the homepage side of things. Yeah. And, going back to kind of some of that feedback, I see you're using the post tab. You have some good interactions here. 82, 66 seems to have a little bit more space between them, which is a really good practice. I like how you update about live streams. You're updating about what you're up to. Really good use of it. And then, you have one that's all your playlists. Pretty good. I see you also are starting to add collaborations. This is a new tab from YouTube. So overall, not bad at all. I would just say, as we go through here, what are your overall thoughts as we're looking here, Danielle?
I want to click on these videos. I'm going to be watching some later. I'm genuinely interested. My overall summary is the packaging above the fold, the banner and the description would really benefit for some work just to people who land on the channel. But I think the videos themselves, I think they're strong. I think they look good. I bet they get quite a lot of views, and they're enticing. There's quite a few there that I want to know what that content is. That goldmine one is really standing out. So yeah, I think those look great. There's always refinement that could be done. The composition is a little bit confused. There's a lot going on.
But I will say, we're making these assumptions. We don't have any of this click-through rate data. Absolutely. So I always say, trust your data over opinions, because
of course
that's going to matter more.
Of course it is. But I bet we're right, though.
I've been very wrong many times, so I don't make that bet.
I like these. I really like these. Like I say, because they're photographs and there's a lot going on, it might be, you're going to lose a few points there on that instant hook because you need a bit more clarity as a rule. And again, I'm talking about curves, the bell curve here, but they're compelling, they're interesting. And the other end of the studio is an electronics bench where I do a lot of repair and salvaging of old computers, and I bring them back to life. So it's like a hobby. So I love this sort of stuff, and personally very interested in it. So yeah, I like it. I think huge potential channel.
And as I see, we have more people joining. If you like your channel getting a chance to be looked at, like we're looking at shark scrappers right now, just type in #browser extension exactly as it is on screen. This gives you the opportunity to be entered in to get your channel looked at. So just want to give a little bit of housekeeping here, but I think we're to a point where, we can definitely give a grade here, because for me, I kind of have an idea, but I made you go first last time. I'll go first this time. For me, I think we're looking at another, I'm thinking 4 to 4.5 in terms of clarity. I think there's a lot we can improve still, but it's not so much that it has to, it's not, both you and Geology do. These are minor tweaks that have huge results, right? Because when I look at a channel, we look at it as if I'm brand new to this channel. I may have seen you in a chat, or I may have seen you in a video. It's super important that we make that distinction of how easy is it for a new viewer to understand what I'm about. So Danielle, what are your thoughts?
I'm going to give this one a 4. This is clearly a channel that is being worked on. It's being done professionally. It's a good channel. It's a solid channel. It's got potential. A lot of work's gone in, clearly. Again, like Geo, really good channel. My I would imagine the content, and this is just based on my gut feelings, that the content probably does well on browse, but I'm not sure how well. I think the packaging right here needs work, but we're talking here about refining
Assumptions.
rather than a lot of work. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
And we
I
also
think
don't
it's a
have the data.
solid channel.
So
We don't
just
have the
keep that
data.
in
This is
mind.
purely based on somebody just consider me as just a random, just coming in and looking at the channel and giving my an opinion as somebody that watches lots of YouTube stuff. So yeah, very solid, excellent channel. Thank you for
And it's
sharing that.
someone and as someone who's done this, a lot, I can tell you that this is coming, Danielle, this is her first time. This is coming from someone who's done hundreds of review streams, and I've seen both ends. I've made the mistake of giving assumption based stuff, but also sometimes our assumptions can be right. So I think one of those things that you can consider is that you should check your thumbnail A/B testing, see if what Danielle is assuming or thinking, if her intuition is correct. And sometimes you can have fun and be like, actually, we're dead wrong. We actually encourage it. I'm okay with being wrong on an assumption, but please share, because that's valuable to the chat. It's valuable to us too.
Love that update from Shark Scrapper there, that the shark part is he donates to shark charities, which is awesome.
Greatly appreciate the feedback. I'll spend some time working on the banner about an intro vid. To be honest, I've known it needs some work, so it's time to get to it. And hey, you can always come back. We're considering doing more of these streams for a second review. And if you guys like these, let us know. Please, let us know by liking it, by commenting. These things help us. And don't worry about that. Really, Hatify, we are definitely, we're doing things. But, to that point, I love sharks and donate a portion of my proceeds. That should be on the banner. Because,
absolutely.
when I look at it,
strong hook. It's a very
it's
strong
such a strong hook. And it could be something like, scrapping and recycling, help our planet, make money, and save a shark today, or something like that.
Perhaps have a shark redoing the recycling or something. Trying to,
well, that would be fun.
A shark in a hat.
I love the shark in a hat idea.
Monocle.
Okay, now that we're just sounding really British. But if you're just joining us, which I see we have some people, the way to enter is browser extension. And Danielle, you mentioned a little bit earlier that you might have something to tease, right?
I might. We try to do a little teaser, a little nugget at the end of our streams. Might be showing you a new feature coming real soon to premium members on TubeSpanner. A really big feature.
Excited to see that. And if you haven't downloaded TubeSpanner, you can go ahead, do so in the link in the description. It can help you grow your YouTube channel. And also, while we have your attention, we want to make sure that this is clear. This kind of stream is going to be different than our regular scheduled TubeSpanner Tuesdays. Those tend to be a little more tutorial, a little bit different. The Thursday streams, and as we continue to grow this channel, as Danielle graciously lets me be a brand partner and be on these things, we're going to see more and more changes. So I think we've had enough people who have typed in. Are you ready to look at another channel here, Danielle?
Let's go. I'm excited.
Me too.
I've been loving this. This is so much fun. And thank you for jumping in and offering to have us critique the channel. It's really, really good fun.
And thank you watching too. All right, let's see if he can finally nail the browser extension with the drum roll. And this is honestly the real test. So close. But Ryan learned bikes, or is it try and learn bikes? Who knows? Maybe that's just a happy.
Yeah, that's.
Is that a happy accident? Because if so, that's kind of perfect.
Genius, if that is.
But I'm going to be pulling that up, and do not worry, folks. We have another chance for you to get your YouTube. We're not done here. We have a problem, and that is we like to look at YouTube channels. So as we are pulling this up, I want to make sure that we take a look at the next channel here, and that we also give you a way that you can enter today. No delay. But what are your thoughts on some of the channels we've looked at, Danielle?
I think they're great. Yeah, and it's not, what's really nice to see people who've been in the stream a few times and regulars on the channel coming and letting us have a look at their channels. Thanks, guys. That's awesome. And it's, it can be nerve-wracking to have your channel critiqued by fools like me. So that's great.
Thank you there, really Hadify. Happy to have you. And yes, we are not getting rid of the. We're gonna do Tuesday and possibly add some Thursday streams. It might be bi-weekly. We'll figure out cadence. But that is something we're not opposed to do. So this might be a more one-off thing. But if you have emails enabled, you'll figure it out. Also, in the browser extension, we do a great thing where if you didn't know, now you know. The latest content shows up here in the browser extension. So you can always be alerted to when we have a new stream, when we're doing things, and you can see some of the cool tools you get with TubeSpanner. So with that, I want to make sure before we go on to our next one that we give people an opportunity to get their channel looked at. All you got to do is type in #wrench, because what is a spanner?
I think I should get a pipe. I think I would work. I think I could rock a pipe.
You know, if you want to get a pipe, who am I to stop you? Why don't we let chat decide? Should Danielle in the next stream have a pipe? Let us know.
Like Sherlock Holmes. This is an Allen key. It's not actually a pipe.
Actually, I kind of love that you're Sherlock and I'm Watson. You're like having the crazy ideas, and Watson's like, "All right, Sherlock." What? Oh,
Too much Red Bull. Let's go.
Too much Red Bull. We're getting people entering it in. Once again, all you have to do is type in wrench, and then we can go ahead and take a look at, I think it's T Ryan, or I think it might be Try and Learn Bikes. I think it's a play on words.
Who knows?
Well, he can let us know in the chat. All right, with that, let us pull it up. People are loving the in between banter. That's one thing we can promise. Banter. All right, so I let you go first last time. I'll go first this time. So right off the bat, I do see bikes. I'm assuming this is you. I will say visually, it is exactly what you said it would be. Bikes.
Bikes. There's a bike and there's somebody doing a dance of some kind, a bit of folk dancing maybe.
And then we have Try and Learn, or T Ryan Learn Bikes.
I like it.
I will say it's exactly what it says, but if I'm trying to learn bikes, I don't know about you, Danielle, but when can I learn said bikes? What time? Yeah. Who's teaching me? And as you notice, we have a new color. So I don't know about you, but it's making me ask a lot of questions.
It's not answering any questions. But here's the thing, though. I do like bikes.
He confirmed.
So,
Try and learn bikes.
Yeah, so I'm interested. And as somebody that likes bikes and most forms of internal combustion propulsion locomotion devices, then this is I'm interested. I'm intrigued to know what it's about. And I'm curious of what appears to be like an off-roader in the thumbnail and a sport bike, some sort of GT bike in the, in the banner. So, and a bit of a fancy dance and some dapper leathers going on, So I'm puzzled, but it's got a lot of imagery that's making me curious. So no obvious value proposition, but I do like bikes, so I'm probably going to hang around.
Sure. And Geology Dude does point out the dark blue kind of disappears with the black background in the banner. That's a good call. Good shout.
Hard to read.
And these are things you could easily change. Like, I see motorcycle do-it-yourself maintenance for beginners and experts alike. I think this actually does a really good job and something you could add to up here. Another thing we've kind of pointed out, as we were looking at some channels, is the importance of having your name. Because when I type in a name, right, this is how YouTube looks at it. So your channel name can show up in your description. That's very important that you do that, because that's how YouTube is, looking at it. So if we do TubeSpanner is your all-in-one creator toolkit. TubeSpanner helps. And notice how YouTube has bolded this. This is not random. This is on purpose, because it is looking to make those connections. So when you don't have your channel name in that first bit of the description, notice what's missing. So that's something you can immediately add to your channel banner or channel about in the first bit there, because it does make that difference. Now, even here, you get 1,000 characters, and I feel like we could add a lot more. I feel you could put, it right now looks kind of keyword optimized, not human optimized, and maybe that's on purpose. So I would just say that I would love more information because you give me a lot in that first bit of the description, but you get 1,000 characters. Let's use them all. What are your thoughts on this description?
It needs more. Again, I'm not somebody that reads descriptions. So from my point of view, just I know it sounds cheesy, but a little bit of that, that old stuffing the content in there. Just get as much meat as you can to that SEO algorithm.
Don't content stuff. That is actively against the rules. Find a way to naturally include it in the sentences. And no, let's not break YouTube terms of service. Find ways to put it in sentences that naturally make sense. And so, but one thing to keep in mind, just because Danielle doesn't look at the description, as we said earlier, YouTube 100% of the time looks at it. And humans on average, YouTube said about, they said 25%, which means only 1 in 4 people are actually going to read it. But YouTube is the exception. They 100% of the time read your description. So make sure you're doing that.
Yeah, when I say stuff it, I don't mean fill it full of trying to game the system, but genuinely put information in there that gives context to your channel. So a few paragraphs is absolutely fine. Put some detail in, some examples of what you do, and that's going to be great.
Sarah says we're making her tweak her description. Of course, great tips. I'll add that in. Absolutely. And I have wrench. If you're looking, just to be sure. And to be clear, it needs to match. It needs to be wrench with a capital W, just to make sure we put it there.
I've just seen some of the videos coming up.
I know. I knew you would like it. And we have from Homekeeping Channel. I do look at the description pages. So do I. But we have to remember most people don't, which is why the banner up here is so important as well. Because if all that information is in the about and only 1 out of 4 people look at it, that's missed opportunity. Now, I like these thumbnails. I'm curious how they're doing in those different search areas, search, browse, suggested. But these to me look very, you have a color theme, very identifiable, very good. And some of these, I see some of the views, 181K, no need, clean gas tank easily. This looks to do that. You're wearing a gas mask. It's very enticing. We have some very popular videos here, and these are clear, straightforward, easy to understand, at least from where I sit. And I think they look pretty good. What are your thoughts, Danielle?
Yeah, I think, this is a contender. I really like these. I mean, look at it. Look how much value there is in those, and how clear it is to know. Look at that evap delete. I mean, that's exactly what there's the value proposition, and there's a story there. That's these are fantastic. So clear.
I see you're using the posts. Good. You're using the community post or the post tab. It used to be community tab, so I have to update to what YouTube calls it now. So good to see. 9 days, good amount of time between it. Not bad community engagement considering. So overall, really good there. But I would love to see some actual custom playlists, which I see you have 2. YouTube says you can never have too many YouTube playlists, so you absolutely should make more. You should have different bike repairs. You should have different things, and then you should feature single playlists. Playlists are one of the largest missed opportunities for creatives. And because of TV, when you have a playlist that gets suggested, people can click on it, watch it, and binge your content. Now, even if your content, you're like, maybe they wouldn't make sense to binge it, you'd be surprised. I've seen channels that are literally just doing paint on walls, and people watch that in bulk because they like the background they'll have a community around it. There are different kind of channels, so definitely experiment. You have a lot of stuff with bikes. Make sure you have a playlist. Get started with bike maintenance. That could be an easy one. Bike batteries, the wheels. There's so many parts of the bike. Each part of the bike could easily be a playlist. What are your thoughts on that, Daniel?
Yeah, there's a lot of good here, and this just needs honestly, housekeeping, some checklist work. It's brilliant channel.
So with that, I think, looking here, some minor changes is all this really needs. So I think we're gonna go ahead and let you, Danielle, go ahead and give it a grade.
I think this is an easy 4. And I know I want to say 5, but we don't. Yeah, we haven't seen what's to come next. But I think this is honestly anybody watching this right now, you could be seeing a huge channel growing right here. There is a massive market for automotive bike repair. You know, look at Matt Armstrong right now. This is a channel destined for greatness right here. This is a really good channel. Absolutely solid.
You have a clear focus. You understand who you're helping. I'm gonna go with a 4 as well. These are minor things, but 4 out of 5 is above average. It's just changing those things and just having some more playlists, making it easy for YouTube to better recommend your channel with the description. There's a lot of things that you could do to just give some extra juice, give it a little bit of gas, if you will. And I think that that's so easy to do. And so I have to say, I hard agree here, Danielle. And great channel, really fun opportunity to take a look at it. But Danielle, we have more to do, but you also said you had something for us.
Yes. Shall I share?
Yes, you should. And if you're enjoying these streams, let us know. Do you want to see more channel review streams? We're curious to kind of get a feel for this. We also would love to hear from everyone on what they're doing. The word is still on for wrench. So if you would like your channel to be looked at, wrench is the word that you heard. And I see from Try and Learn Bikes who says, that's great to hear. Thank you so much for such positive comments. Cheers to you both. Cheers. I think they are extremely helpful, says We Go Fishing. And speaking of extremely helpful, what Danielle's about to show might just be something you want to see. So why don't we switch screens and pull it up? Here it is.
Alrighty. So we've been teasing at this in the Tuesday streams for quite some time. Regulars are going to have an idea of what's coming. But here it is. The content sharing planner is now in the extension with a 2-page layout. We've also brought the preview mode into a single pane. So you no longer, if you remember before, you used to edit over here and preview on the left. We've now converted these into one. You can write your post. I'll do a quick one right here. And
you can add more than just your LinkedIn and your X. Like, this is a feature that when we look at it, a lot of people struggle to not only put their stuff on YouTube, but then they have to share it on socials. So the fact is that what Danielle is showing off is something called Spintax. Actually, Danielle, could you zoom in? It's a little bit hard to see.
Yeah, one moment, caller.
A little bit more for me, please.
Sure thing.
There we go.
So Spintax is a way that it allows you to create a sentence, and then without having to use AI, you can generate variations of it. And then if you click the preview button right here, every time you click it, you can see how that changes. The purpose for doing this is if you wanted to create a post and then have it to automatically repeat, you aren't sharing the same post over and over again. You can generate different posts. And you can see here, I'm previewing it as how it would look in LinkedIn. Here, I'm previewing it as how it would look in X. We can insert videos, thumbnails, images. You click on the preview to see how it'll look. Click back in the text area to go back to editing. Or on the left here, this is in dev, it isn't live yet, but it's coming real soon. On the left here, you can see a snapshot of your cadence. So you can see, let's click on a day. You can see what content you've been publishing on that day. Have a quick look at it. So you can make sure that you're posting on a regular schedule. All your connected accounts appear on the left here, on the right here. So you get like Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, all the little preview tabs will open up. This is nearly working. This is in dev. This will tell you how many variations you've programmed so that you can, build that in. Here you can set your dates if you want to do repeat intervals or to generate, which I'll show you that now, in fact. So supposing on the paid users, you want something that's a little more powerful than manual Spintaxing. So as long as you've got more than 1 or 2 variations, it'll unlock the advanced tool. And that's, I should zoom out a little bit to show you this working because it doesn't quite fit on the page because it's
Ooh.
there. So I'm going to set this now to post, let's just say from Friday, from tomorrow at 6 o'clock in the evening. There we go. And I want to post it at 6 o'clock every week for the next 8 weeks. I'll schedule that post. This could be a video, it could be our live stream, and now it generates all of those
Wow.
for you. It creates unique content each time. It even puts a little bit of a spin on it. Here you can see it's populated your diary, and you can see your cadence. You can move those around. So, if, for example, I wanted to move the Friday the 6th Thursday, I just pick it here, and you see right away it changes there. You can see any
Wow.
conflicts.
So I don't have to
So
save
this,
anything. It's smart enough to know to do it.
yeah. And this
Wow.
and this will connect. So you can basically run your entire social media campaign from TubeSpanner. And here's the kicker. The price of TubeSpanner is less than this tool on its own from some social media tools. So yeah, we are extremely excited to get this out. It's going to be a game changer for people who want to promote to their audience by social media. Coming real soon.
And hey, I'm seeing, from the chat that they're wanting more channel review streams. They think they're extremely helpful. What if I told you that, and Danielle, I hope you don't mind me saying this, that that's something you're working on within the TubeSpanner suite to help people get better?
Coming soon. We
That's
have
the
so
reason.
many features coming this year.
If you haven't already, consider downloading the extension, subscribing. There's a lot of cool stuff coming. But we have been delaying further enough. We're going to give people just a little bit of time so that they can join us here. Just type in #wrench. This is your last chance. Now, Danielle, as we're letting people enter this in, it needs to be exactly as it on screen. How are you feeling? First stream, I think you're killing it.
Having a ball. This is great. And again, thank you so much, you guys, for volunteering to share your content with us and us to critique it and give some feedback. That's great. I really appreciate it. And it's not easy to get people to critique your channel. So and we've seen some fantastic channels so far. So much potential here. So yeah, really good channels. And thank you for being here. And because I think we should do this regularly. I think channel reviews are so useful, and it's fun as well. And if it's good to see your channel up on screen and get some feedback. And yeah, there's so much you can get from these.
All right. With that, let's go ahead and pull it up. And he finally get this to go. So close. But we have Venturum Explorium.1.
If this isn't the Warhammer 40k channel, I'm going to be very surprised and disappointed.
But that goes to the importance of having a channel name that matches expectations, right? Like every comment has a meaning, right? So one of the things you need to be aware of is that if something is said, you should definitely try to pay it off. So as I am pulling that up, I want to make sure we have this here. So let us pull this channel up.
Let's go.
So you had a 4K channel in mind, a 40K Warhammer channel in mind, but it looks to be maybe slightly different. I'm going to pull the yellow from
many
exploring videos for your journey into the past.
Well, I was wrong.
I show you unique 18th century old stone hut house. I think that might be houses. But I will say, from the title of the channel to what I'm seeing here, and even what's being described, I'm noticing they're being pulled in multiple directions. And you have to remember, YouTube uses all of those. I think this blue might actually be a little easier to see. YouTube uses all those things to kind of give a cohesive understanding of a channel. And I'm going to ask you in chat, if you're watching, based on what you see here, can you easily understand what this channel is about based on the name and everything? For Danielle and I, and Danielle, please let me know. It was a little hard for me.
I still don't know. I mean, I'm reading it and I don't know what I'm exploring videos.
All I know is we're exploring videos.
I don't know what it is.
Well, let's click more. But again, remember Danielle doesn't read these, but 25% of our audience does. So 1 in 4 people might read this. I show you unique 18th century old stone hut houses, I think is what it means to be. Join me on an exploration of abandoned ancient stone building. I mean, this right here, exploration of abandoned, like that would be such a powerful thing in the banner, you know?
Yeah.
And then showing
Oh,
that too.
great. This sounds fascinating.
But
I'm not seeing it.
exactly. And then, you know, if we look here, discovering the interior of an 18th century old stone. So what? But you notice it's important we talk about this because a title can get can be shortened depending device. And if the most important thing is, you have to remember YouTube looks at titles of orders of importance and keywords. Discovering the interior is what you told YouTube's the most important part. So maybe you should flip this where it's 18th century old stone, whatever actually the rest is, and then discover this interior. But why should we? What's the reason? I'm struggling on that.
Yeah.
Let's look at the videos. What are your thoughts on this trailer?
So here's the thing. We've spent some time on this, and I now genuinely want to see more. St. Fagans is a couple of miles up the road from me, and I love it. It's full of historic buildings, and you know, if St. Fagans is a historical museum of buildings. They literally they get old historic buildings and then put them in this park. They move them brick by brick. It's incredible.
Wow.
So this is very interesting, and this is a channel that I would spend time in, but I wouldn't have got this far, unfortunately. So there's some packaging work needed here because the content looks like it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, and like you've had some videos with 10,000, 7.4 thousand, right? Like explore the oldest abandoned stone hut ever. That is so clear on why I should click through.
Look at that clip. How an open doorway in an old building oozes clickbait. I want to know what's in that dark, shadowy doorway. So that's without saying any words there. That's an enticing thumbnail. Like, oh, we're going to go in there. That's what's in there. Is it ghosts? Is it donuts? I don't know, but I want to find out. So just you've got a fantastic subject for a thumbnail there. Needs packaging, but just keep looking.
Agreed. Now I do see you have multiple playlists, and we've talked about this. You have one that is a custom one that is here, but be sure to write a description. I want to see what this is, and consider, like, you have lots of them. Maybe others have descriptions. I will click through on one and see what happens. So,
yeah.
Okay. We should have another description here. We should write descriptions. And if you have access to Ask Studio, you could ask it to help you write descriptions that are optimized for YouTube. I see you have your hand up.
Yeah, just pause there for a moment, okay? Because there's a thumbnail over on the bottom right there with the blue sky and an arrow pointing to a leafy window. Cool, but the title should tell me why that window is interesting, but it's not. It just says urban exploring. Okay, I mean, I don't need the arrow for that. The arrow should be highlighting something that's,
like this, the unknown.
Together. So,
I see you are doing post, but definitely consider keeping up with it. Also, keep in mind that all caps can sometimes, to some people, be seen as yelling. YouTube actually recommends not to put everything in all caps, so just be mindful of that.
Look at my spooky doorways.
With that, I think we have enough here. What are your thoughts overall here, Danielle?
Oh, right. So this is going to be harsh, but it's a tricky one because this urban exploring, especially with a historic twist, fantastic, absolutely fantastic niche. Plenty of old spooky buildings to go and look at. So you've got a solid foundations there. So, and let's be honest, in ghost towns and abandoned buildings and all of that, so much but the packaging really needs work because I wouldn't have gone, even though you've got a spooky doorway, spooky couple of arches in the beginning there. And spooky arches, great, but needs packaging. So I'm gonna go with a 2, but do not give up on this because so much potential. And even with a lot of competition, there are so many different buildings, and perhaps you could do a little bit of discovery on, the whys, who used to live there, what was done there, build a story around it, make it compelling. There's huge, huge potential for this channel. So absolutely, you're doing the right thing by working it out. So that part, and that's one of the hardest parts, is getting your niche. Nail that. Packaging is really important, though. It needs, because I'm interested in this, and I'm gonna click on because it hasn't hooked me quick enough. So very, very strong potential. Just needs a bit of work, in my opinion.
I was thinking a 3 out of 5. So I feel like if we average this out, we're at a 2.5. Let us know if you're watching live or in the replay. What are your thoughts? Because it also helps to get other opinions. If you guys want us to do more streams, also feel free to chime in. We want your opinions, right? And so, when I look at this, there's a lot you're doing well. You clearly have defined who you're targeting. There's just some minor things that can take you to that next step. This is not a bad score. This is an average score, but we want you to get above average, right? So those changes we recommend, focusing a little bit more on the banner, focusing a little bit more with some playlists, adding descriptions, because you have the playlist, adding a little bit more clarity, maybe not all caps. All those things can add up and you can easily retain and get a higher score. And if you're looking to learn more about TubeSpanner, consider subscribing today. We go live on TubeSpanner Tuesdays, and we might throw in more live streams like this on Thursdays where we do some reviews if you're watching in the future. With that, thank you all so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed the stream, and we hope to catch you in the next TubeSpanner Tuesday. Take care.
Thank you, everyone. Superb.